Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Ocean Chief here with Icewind on comms for the next round in Tier 1. Icewind, we're heading to Monza, the classic, the Temple of Speed.
Yeah, yeah, good to be here. Completely different track from the previous two that I was commentating with you. We've come from Hungary to Zandvoort to Monza, and this is completely different. And it's raining, by the way. Wow. So that's gonna be an interesting qualifying, I guess. But yeah, completely different track from the previous two. Low wings, maximum top speed, basically for everybody, even in this kind of conditions. I think because I don't think that anybody would really start playing with more wing on this track, even if it's raining like that. It looks like interweather, but yeah, gonna be an interesting session, I guess, to see what comes what. And all my research is for naught now because it's raining. So we'll see how this plays out, I guess.
Yeah, let's have a look at the grid. It's 20 drivers, full grid for Tier 1. Awesome, love it. We have some reserve drivers today. We have a lot of familiar names on there, but yeah, the reserve drivers. Nightall, who was reserved last week, I believe he's in the Ferrari this week. I think that's a full-time seat he got. Fedivara stepped down from his seat, and Finley Smith as well. I think he is he reserve? He might actually be a full-timer. Romain is a reserve, yeah. There has been some changes behind the scene, but yeah, the driver's heading out on track. Well, oh, actually, Alex Norris, I should mention him. He is a bit of a dark horse in this race. We saw him in practice, and he was very, very fast. And I'm thinking he will be definitely at the front end of the grid. But we shall see how he does in an actual race session. As yeah, we're already getting underway. Everybody's heading out on the track.
Yep.
It's starting to get busy out there. So let's see. There's a McLaren at the head of the field. Is that Jamie, perhaps? Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is Jamie indeed. And before we get to his lap, just quick overview on the championship standings. Justin took the lead, or maybe he was actually leading before already, but he's now clearly in the lead by 61 points from McKender at 44 points, and then Touge at 35 points in third position. And then for the teams, Alpine is leading, Red Bull second, and Racing Bulls third. But yeah, let's take a look at what a lap of Monza looks like in these kind of conditions. So Jamie, out of the final corner, the curb on the outside, or this AstroTurf on the outside, is very slippy, so don't run too much over that. And then we're blasting down the main straight. The V6, Mercedes V6 is singing at the back of that McLaren. No DRS in these conditions, but we'll have to pick our braking point anyway, 130 meters to turn 1, and then through 2 as well. This is the slowest section of the track, and then there's plenty of traction actually on this exit here onward to Curva Grande. Once again, 200 miles an hour down toward 4 and 5, the second chicane. And here let's see if it tries to cut the curb. Not so much. You can cut that and gain some time, but the exit is very crucial here. And then we're onward already to Lesmo 1. Just throw it in, pick up the throttle, use that curb on the exit. Lesmo 2. The exit curb is very slippy here. It's easy to put it in the wall on the inside from there. And then once again, 200 miles an hour down the back straight toward Ascari. And this is the mother of all sense, this corner, I would say, even in these conditions. So throw it in. Use plenty of curb on both sides. They don't tend to spit you out too much here. And then once again, 200 miles an hour down the back straight toward, I think they call it something else, but I'm gonna call it Parabolica anyway. So that's what the traditional name for this corner. And once pretty good line for Jamie through there, and the AstroTurf on the outside, as I said, is very slippy, so don't run over there. It'll cost you time, and it's 125.9, which is immediately beaten by Alex Norris behind him at 25.6.
Yeah, that's ominous. I did mention him earlier. There you go. He's got a top time on the board. Only 2 times. 3 now, with McKender going P2, 125.8. I just want to get to chat. I'm kind of neglecting chat. We see Swede in there. We see Wonder Tommy asking who does the design. Graphic design, that is Kit, yes. We have Jan in there asking where Meepo is. If you want to explain that one, nice.
Well, Meepo is called something weird today, so I don't really know why it's called Sampo Koski, but that's Meepo. On my screen, he's called Meepo because I changed his nickname so he doesn't get away with this thing. But yeah, the SK Sampo Koski is Meepo.
I see John saying in chat, "Bara bara bastu bastu." I actually get the reference. That is their Swedish Eurovision song. A song about the sauna,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah, indeed. So that basically translated like just bathe in the sauna.
I've actually seen the video. Futuristic sent it to me, but there you go. I'll be supporting Sweden in the Eurovision for sure after seeing that debacle. Yep. So there you go. Lepson as well in chat saying hello, and look at the beauty of a full grid.
Yeah. Plenty of times on the board already. 13 times. Romain in the final corner is about to also cross the line, and not really sure about these sector splits here, but let's see where he ends up after this lap. It's a 25-2, and it's all the way to the top of the field.
Wow. There you go. That's the way to do it,
And
isn't it?
these conditions really look like I think this will just get faster toward the end because it's not really raining very hard. Clearly interweather, but I would expect the fastest times to be set at the end of the session here. So Romain, Night Owl, Alex, Norris. Can't really say the usual suspects at the front there for those names, but interesting to see some new names at the top. Night Owl, of course, was on the podium last week, right? So he's set his mark already in this league, but good to see him doing well this week also.
Yeah, Eversnack's getting himself in the mix. Let's have a look at the mid pack here. Yeah, Eversnack's P13, well, 126.7. Eagle Ghost, 126.8. Wirch, 126.9 and P15. But look at that as well. I completely neglected to mention the fact that Tenari has returned for one race.
Yeah.
He is P19. I think he's just getting himself familiar with the the whole concept of driving in F1 again. As Noah, I'll not even try to pronounce that last name.
Call him Noah. Yeah.
Noah, 25.2. So there is time in this track. It is starting to come to the drivers. It is very, very light rain. So with each lap of each car, they're just lifting that water and increasing the grip for the drivers that follow, pretty much.
Yep. Tenari through Ascari, kind of rally cross through there, so that cost him a lot of time. Christian goes to the top of the board at 24.8, and I think this will be the trend of this session, that the track will ramp up and get more grippy toward the end of the session. Tenari is still struggling a little bit in the final corner. And across the line, let's see where he ends up, and it's a 12. Well, actually P2, so not as bad as I thought. It was very flighty in some places, but up to P2.
Nicely done. He's back. Who else is back? I mean, I meant to actually go from Tenari to this other driver. Danico is back as well.
True.
He is currently P11. I know he's been off racing in iRacing, so I'm sure he hasn't lost too much of the pace we've seen in previous seasons. And like Tenari, will probably be at the top end of the grid as Eversnacks is out.
He's dead.
That's after the second chicane, I think he must have.
Yep. Yeah. In the inside wall there after the second chicane, so probably, I don't know, put a rear wheel on the too much on the curb, or possibly under the gravel, and it's quite easy to do in these conditions, I would say. Meepo also across the line and goes to P5.
Not bad, yeah. Danico as well. P7 was right behind Meepo as Romain increases the pole position time of 24.855, so not that much faster than Christian, but it's going to be ding dong all the way, back and forth, I think, all the way for this session, and there's 9 minutes left. And usually you see people do a hot lap and then they go back into the pits, put on a new set of tires, but with these conditions, you can fuel up and do a few laps, so that's why we're seeing these times coming in thick and fast.
Yeah. But I would expect this to be a bit of a cat and mouse game of who goes across the line last to start their lap, because I'm just trying to see, and from that camera angle, it actually looked like it's maybe not even raining anymore, but it is still raining. So, yeah, I think this track will keep ramping up, and the times are also indicative of that. Can we pick somebody else
McKenna
up
just
on a
started
lap?
on there, yep.
Yeah, it is his 5th lap on these tires, so we'll see how much grip there is left in those. You can take quite a bit of curb in turn 1 like he did there, and then accelerating out of turn 2 through Curva Grande, and deploying over 300 kph down this straight, and then let's see how McAnder tackles this second chicane. Doesn't take it too aggressively, but manages to use the curbs quite nicely, and they don't bounce him all the way, at least, because you know that second chicane, like if you cut it too much or just slightly the wrong way, it'll bottom out the car and basically just bump you off the road. So yeah, it's always a bit of a gamble if you want to really try to cut it or not. Maybe in these conditions, I guess you want to take it a bit easier, like McAnder did. Second sector from McAnder, 2/10 up.
Justin
through Ascari.
Justin won P2 there in the background, yeah. But we're hanging with McKenna here still. He is 2/10 up, as you say. One more sector, one more corner to make it his way through. And yeah, just sends the car in there. Wants to keep the back end under control, but does nicely so. And nice and controlled drive there from McKenna. And that is P4.
And he P4, and it's very, very tight at the front, actually. Would have expected maybe a little bit more gaps in these these conditions, but it's basically 2/10 for the top 4. So yeah.
Noah as well. Looks like he's on a lap here. He's in sector 1. We should get a sector 2 time right about now. Yep, he's only marginally down on his time, so probably will continue with this. A lot of time can be made in sector 2, I've found.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two Lesmos. It's all about the momentum here, isn't it? You really just want to carry the momentum through. But, oh, and you see that? He just carried a little bit too much through there and paid the price. Invalidated lap for Noah.
Yeah, and replying to chat, Eversnacks indeed did crash, so he is out of this session. Christian in the sector 1, he's on fresh tires, and he is clearly up, but kind of makes a hash out of that second chicane, or that's what it looked like to me at least. Let's see what the clock thinks when he gets to sector 2 split, and doesn't really hit the apex in Lesma 1 either, but we'll see. I was wrong last week also. I think I was commentating some lap, looked like this looks horrendous, and then he basically went to the top of the field or something, but let's see what the clock thinks about this into sector 2, and it really does like it, so I'm wrong again. So yeah,
this looks like a pole lap, but I would agree. Yeah, those chicanes, like the second chicane especially, looked a bit untidy, clumsy almost. But maybe that's the way, the fastest way through there.
Yeah, or maybe the track is just that much faster with these fresh tires. And Christian through the final corner was a little bit tentative on the throttle there, but I guess you have to be in these conditions. And it's a clear pole, provisional pole position for him, 24-3.
Yep, 5/10.
So, cancel the idea of hitting apexes. That's obviously completely wrong, and we shouldn't expect that, so, yeah.
Yep, I've got Nidal here down on his time in sector 1, so I'm going to switch away from him. Yeah, he had a brilliant race last week with Finley Smith to the line, and I think it was like less than a tenth between them. I think Finley just nabbed that position from Nidal. It actually might have been the other way around.
Yeah, Verge across the line also. That I thought that would have been a really fast lap, but he lost a little bit of time in the final sector. So 14th for him, 25-7. But yeah.
I'm going to look at Lars here at the back. He is struggling in these conditions. We did hear he was having a tough time of it in Tier 1. So this might be the last outing for him. But you never know. In Monza, it tends to throw up these wacky races. Late safety cars. Position yourself in a good spot with no penalties, and you can pick up a lot of positions. I think I got my best position, one of my best finishes in Tier 1 in Monza with a late safety car. I think it was like a P6 or something.
I remember Timo going mad when you crossed the line in, in that,
Yeah, that was a
that
crazy
position,
race.
I think. Yeah. Years ago as well, man. F1 2019 or something.
Yeah, I mean, like I was just looking the other day. SLR will be 6 in August, I believe. That's crazy.
Yeah,
6
that's
years.
crazy. Yeah, yeah. Been a long time. I've already been here for. Is it 7 already then? Actually, what do you think? But I'm not sure.
Wow.
If I joined in 2019, and that was like the beginning of the real life season of 2019 when I joined. So isn't that like 6 years ago now?
Yeah,
So
it could well be 7. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's 7 actually.
Lars was able to go faster there. It looks like he is starting to dial into the track, so he's not too far off P19, set by Eversnacks, who's of course now out of the session.
Oh, yeah. Romain cuts the second chicane a bit too much, tried to gamble it, but gets an invalidation out of his efforts there. Trying to pick up who's on a lap here. I think Tunari in the middle sector. I'm not sure if there's somebody ahead of him as well, but let's see what Tunari can do into sector 2, and he's very much up on his time, so potentially up to P2 even with this time if he can keep it up in the final sector. And in the meanwhile, Meepo has gone to P2, Alex Norris into P3, but I think Tunari should easily be able to jump to P2 with this lap if he can just keep it together, and looks pretty tidy for him at least. So let's see if this tidiness is, is any kind of indication of speed. And across the line for Tunari, and it's actually pole for him, so 24.201. Wow.
It's like he never left.
Yeah.
That is
Indeed.
impressive.
And that's... Yeah, and then just picking up who's coming behind him, McKender, I think is actually some 100ths of a second up on Tunari's time, so potentially also fighting for a front row position on this lap. There's still 1 minute and 20 seconds on the clock, so this will be McKender's final lap at least. So he doesn't have time to do another one because there is no battery to do a second consecutive lap. McKender across the line, let's see where he ends, and it's P2 for McKender.
Nicely done, yeah. Meepo slowing down before the final corner there. Setting himself up for the last run, like you say. The timer is ticking, and this is going to be the last run for many drivers out there. And yeah, you just want to get a perfect launch off Parabolica, and that'll bode you well down the straight. It is such a long straight. You've got DRS, you may have Slipstream as well. You've got ERS, and yeah, heading into turn 1 can be quite daunting when you have all that speed behind you in qualifying. But yeah, on these tires, you should be able to send it. And yeah, the rain's still coming down. It's and there's looks like a V-carb off in the background there.
Daisy retires in the pit lane, so
yeah,
his qualifying is over. Trying to see like who is the furthest on their first lap. I think Jamie. Oh, and Jamie goes off the road actually, and that's the end of his qualifying session. But Danny was behind him there, and Danny got really nice tow from Jamie for those first couple of straights. So let's see what Danny can do here. Danny is currently in P16 only, but the gaps are relatively small, and he's, I think, a tenth slower than McKender into this second sector split, struggling a little bit through Ascari to keep it on the road. As McKender retires from this session, let's see what Danny can do. Final corner to go for him, and this should be somewhere into, let's see, top 10 at least, because struggling really hard to keep the car on the road in Parabolica, but across the line it is on 24.7. Danny goes up to P6.
Yep.
Meepo to P4 behind him.
Gerla, I didn't see Gerla do that time, but that's P5 for Gerla right now.
Yeah, that's out of nowhere, but there's a lot of drivers to come across the line. Christian is one of them, and he's coming across the line now, and he stays 4, so doesn't improved, but doesn't gain a position. And who is coming? Alex Norris goes to the top of the time, so the dark horse strikes as you predicted previously. Jamie has invalidated, and I think he is also the last guy to cross the line who still had a chance, unless Lars could do something about it, but I don't think he's on a fast lap here.
Yeah, his ERS is maxed out, so that's our grid. Wow. Yeah, Alex Norris. Oh,
Okay.
okay. Interesting.
One way to finish the session, I guess, but yeah. Right, Alex Norris on pole. Did not see that coming. But yeah, Tonari second, so yeah, Justin somewhere also jumped into third there, but yeah, kind of a very interesting grid here, I would say.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Like, if you asked me to call the top 10, I definitely wouldn't put it this way. Tanari is back, P2. Alex Norris, though, like, I mean, to come into your first league race, this is his debut performance, and to set pole in difficult conditions against this field, that is quite impressive. But I did see in chat, we had Lepson tell us it is going to be a dry race session, so
Yeah.
what else did I see in chat? Someone said something that was pretty interesting. Oh yeah, John. If there is an issue with sound, let me know, guys. I'll have a wee tweak at some quiet point during the race. But yeah, there you have clear skies and the sunshine is out. So yeah, I think anyone who has a dry setup, I would say most of these guys will have the dry setup running, knowing that the race
Yeah.
is dry. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna see very, very low wings. I think 5-0 seems to be the order of the day.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, the
And
first
I
lap will
think
be crucial.
maybe the audio issue is something regarding 5.1 speaker setup. I don't know. How does YouTube even handle that sort of thing, or do we have to set it up somewhere? But anyway, I think that's probably something we cannot fix during this session. But anyway, we're already about to get underway. 5 lights are on the board, and we are go in Monza. And it looks like a pretty even start from the front runners, and Alex Norris seems to be able to have seems to be able to keep the lead into turn 1, but Justin is actually challenging him, but backs out just at the last moment under braking. So Alex Norris leads from Justin, from Tunari, from Noah. Christian is up to P5, and then McKender in P6, and then Meepo has lost some positions at the start. He is down to P9, and it is a pretty clean start. I didn't really see any wings flying off, at least, and there's some fighting in the background there, but we get through that also quite nicely. So everybody is underway.
Yeah, and a big feature of Monza, of course, in this year's game. Oh, as someone was wide there, but yeah, big feature is DRS trains. We're going to see a huge DRS train. If not, you might see it break into a couple of groups, but yeah, you want to be in that lead DRS train to have any chance of points here, or a big haul of points. But yeah, what a getaway from Alex Norris. Justin looked like he was going to get him into turn 1, but he was only able to make up that one position on Tenaris, who Tenari currently P3 is ahead, down to Parabolica. And and Justin is very close in the back of Alex Norris here. DRS will not be activated on this lap. It will be the coming lap, but they won't have access to it on this straight, as Justin does go for the move, and it looks pretty much easy as he swings in front of Alex Norris. And we also have Christian on Tenari, yep. And I think Tenari was just able to keep that inside line and then send it into the next corner and hold position, but he is getting harassed back there. There's a lot of close gaps that I see from P3 backwards.
Yeah, and he's getting harassed because Christian is on mediums and Tunari is on hards in between there, so that's the pace difference here at the start. And I was kind of wondering, Justin decided to really attack hard on this first lap, and is he gonna try to possibly break away on these tires? Could he do that? But we get DRS on this straight here, so I would be highly surprised if he can break away and drop the rest of these boys. And then we have a yellow flag somewhere in the background. Could that be... Not sure what that was because it's already gone. Lars... No, he's not missing a wing. It looked a bit like he was missing a part of his wing, but yeah.
Maybe a Desi, because he's now P20 off the
could be.
Gap there. But yeah, like up front, DRS is enabled this lap, so we will see this come into effect on the straight here. It's huge, it's powerful, and Alex Norris currently 5/10, just under 5/10 behind. Is that going to be enough? I don't think so. I think Justin can defend this with the use of DRS. And you can see Alex is closing up here, but oh, he is going to go for it. Last minute dive down the inside and clean move there from Alex Norris. Does go wide on exit, but Justin following close behind. Very close, in fact. Oh my word.
No, and does he actually want to try to take it into the second chicane? No, he's backing out of that one. But it looked like a little bit like Justin was tried to break that DRS, but it's basically impossible if the car following is, you know, even somewhere close to the pace. So yeah, nobody basically, no, actually Verge in P16 has dropped out of DRS, so it's a 16 car train at the moment.
Yeah, that's quite early. I didn't expect to see that split,
yep.
but I mean, it's like, as you know, any incidents, and
I think that must be some sort of a result of a daisy or whatever. I don't know what happened there, but a daisy dropping, you know, from between Night Owl and Verge, and that's what caused that gap, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm getting some beautiful overhead shots here. I love it. You see the flow of the cars and the gaps between as they close up. And speaking of which, Justin pulling out, and I see Christian in the background as well. Looks like Christian's going for a move. He's up to P3. Justin takes the lead off the race, and further back, Jamie as well. On Danny Coe, I believe that was. So Jamie on the mediums, trying to make them work.
Yeah, the mediums are going to be faster for at least a few more laps, and then yellow flag in sector 1. Oh my word, there was just him, okay, but now there's a very big gap from Eagle Ghost to Night Owl, so could there have been some sort of a contact? I guess so.
Yeah, so
maybe
from P1 to P15 currently, and then there's a small group behind that. Oh, and there's a big incident, and that was, let me see, I think Wirch and Lars were involved in that. Lars losing some front wing, and I actually I was looking at the standings, and I missed what happened there. I just saw the resulting damage flying across the course there. So yeah, Lars is gonna have to pit, as we see Eversnack's getting a position on Eagle Ghost. That's P16.
Yeah, so incidents to the guys at the back, and basically the bottom 5, sorry, are more or less out of this race if you look at the gap there, so I don't think they will be able to catch up to this unless we get some sort of a safety car. And very big squabbling into turn 1 for the lead of this race. I think Alex Norris will lead after turn 1, but who is behind him? There's Kristen and Justin, so Justin down to P3, and then there's also Noah interested in this this fight here, but Justin decides to deploy a little bit of ERS out of the first chicane to keep his position in P3.
Yeah, and Tenari, the biggest loser there, he's down to P6. He was like P3 a moment ago. But yeah, nice move from Christian there. And I have to say, Justin's probably wondering, who the hell is this Alex Norris guy? Where did he come from? He's currently leading a Tier 1 race and looking fairly in control at this point of the race.
And he's got a full battery as well. Like the rest of these guys have actually had to deploy quite a bit. Tunari, the most of them, he's down to 20% actually. So Tunari struggling a little bit here. So maybe the very strong qualifying from Tunari, but the race pace struggling a little bit to get up the pace, I guess.
Yeah, and you know what was interesting? Last lap was the best lap, or the fastest lap was Noah, and he's on hards. And yeah, look at the different lines they're taking for the Parabolica as well. Danny Coe is up to P10 there, yep, and up front, yeah, go for it, Ice.
Interesting once again. Christian takes the lead now, and Justin up to P2, so Alex Norris lost 2 positions there, and that's the effect of DRS on the main straight. But yeah, they were fairly tame in the turn 1. I thought that could be more theatrical as well, but yeah, Christian takes the lead. So the medium runner is still leading the pack, and then we have Noah, McKendor, Tunari on the hards behind them, and Danny picks up a 3-second penalty.
Oh, Tunari, I think Tunari made a big mistake on the second chicane there, and it's put him on the defense, and we're seeing a gap as well from Danny Coe to P8, Meepo. 1.1, tantalizingly close. Danny Coe as well has the first penalty of this session.
Yeah, and Danny, I think bit out of practice also, and Danny seems to be out of DRS now. I wonder if he can somehow reel himself in back into the DRS range, but I think it looks like he's gonna be out of this unless Jamie can somehow, I don't know, deploy on the main straight and save him. But yeah, looks like there's the first gap, because Jamie is not gonna be able to do a whole lot with that amount of battery that he has.
On board with Alex Norris here. He's getting front view seat, and I think he's going to follow Justin through. So yeah, it's not a case of like the lead swapping around. It's like if you're the leader, you're probably going to be P3 the next lap. As yeah, a bit untidy through turn 1 there. Looked a wee bit sketchy, but they all come out alive in one piece. And Alex Norris up to P2, Justin taking the lead, and it's as you were.
Yep, Justin leads from Norris, from Christian, and then Romain actually overtook, who did we lose though? Yeah, like Tunari, because Tunari made that mistake the previous lap, right? So yeah, but Danico is out of that DRS range, and I think that means that, oh, and Danny goes all the way off the track, whatever happened there. And Ross is out as well. What was that? That looked so strange to me. I don't know if you saw what happened there, but
I completely missed it.
he just like completely drove off the circuit, rejoined, and just spun into the wall. So what a strange incident.
Weird. Maybe a technical issue there. It sounds like.
Yeah,
it.
I don't know. It looked very strange.
Yeah, I'm very much focused on Noah right now. I don't know what it is, but he just has this aura around him. Maybe I'm reading too much into things. Maybe I smoked a little bit too much last night. But Noah is P4 on hards, the top hard runner, as he tags Christian momentarily going from turn 1 to turn 2. Danico 10-second speeding penalty. He is retired, or first retiree of the session.
Yeah, not an easy race for Danny. So it'd be interesting to hear what actually happened there, because that looked very strange from where I was standing anyway. But yeah, Danny out of the race. So the front 8 are still together, and then Touge is kind of the lone gunner in P9.
Oh no, yep. Man! Oh, Noah and Christian come together there. Luckily, no damage that I saw, but that was the second Lesmo. Not really a place where you go for moves, so I think that might have been an error from Christian that allowed Noah to pull alongside. Their wheels hit each other, and yeah, they are very lucky to be still driving at this pace in this group.
Yeah, the front 2, do they smell a chance to get away here? Justin has a look on the inside, but no, nothing doing there. McKender, no, he's only 5/10 away, so there's no chance to escape here. Noah and Christian again. Go for it, Chief.
Yeah, it's looking spicy going into turn 1. It's a long way to go yet, and I'm going to go on board with Christian, and it's last of the late breakers. And yeah, it looks like Christian's going to come out of this one ahead. It's still down to the exit, of course, but yeah, he had carried great momentum through there. Had the inside line for turn 2, and I apologize for the chaos in the background here.
Okay, the dogs are also very happy about this race, but yep. So Christian overtakes Noah into turn 1, and after that it's basically status quo. Nothing special happening. I thought for a moment that Tunari might have been keen. Oh, and Noah a little bit sideways on the exit of Lesmo 2 onto the back straight. And yeah, Tunari looked a bit interested, but he's also quite out of battery there, so I don't think Tunari will be able to do anything special. But McKender actually, did he overtake Alex Norris there on the back straight, and he's up to P2?
Yep, use of DRS there, he just swings it. Yeah, he did. I think Alex must be saving a bit of DRS, although he does have 94%. He's saving it all for this DRS zone coming up. As the front end gets a little bit twitchy on Alex there, but he keeps the throttle planted to the floor, and I reckon McKenna's going to take the lead here, but I think Alex is going to follow him through. In fact, I think Alex is going to take both these guys heading into turn 1. Oh, and he boxes McKenna in, and yeah, he goes down the inside line for turn 1, but the inside line for turn 2 is crucial as Alex swings the back end out and is able to carry momentum through somehow. If that was me, I would definitely be in the gravel right there.
He's deploying through Curva Grande here, so he wants to take Justin into the second chicane, which is a bit of a surprise to me because he's been holding out on his battery entire race, and now he basically used all of it onto those two straights. He's down to 40% now, but he's leading the race again.
Yeah, this is getting very spicy. We're on lap 10. We're not even halfway. I'm looking at chat. I am reading your messages, but a lot of action on track here. But yeah, we've got the voice of EGL in chat, Mr. Tipsy Bob.
Kit's lost his front wing. He's spun out of Lesmo 1, so
no.
yeah, he's, well, not lost his front wing, but at least the end plate. And I think in this game you will not be able to get away with it like Leclerc did in real life China, where the car actually worked better when he was and when he lost that bit of the front wing.
I see a move. Touge. Oh my god, so Touge has pitted. So imagine that's for a new front wing, but you can get the hards to the end here pretty much from early days, and we are starting to see some people pitting. It's Jamie as well, and Pete.
Turn 1 again, very slalom into turn 1, and who's taking what position. So Justin leads now from Alex Norris. So these medium runners still showing pretty good pace here so far. And yeah, some pit stops in the background indeed, as you mentioned. So Jamie, who I guess tries to undercut him back into this leading train. Let's see if it works out for him, and he comes out ahead of Lars. And Lars is still, by the way, driving without that front wing end plate.
Well, he's not last, so I mean, I'm probably hoping for a safety car. I think these guys are pitting early as well. I mean, it does serve them well. As McKenna goes for a move again, heading into Ascari, since we have free rear position for him. I'm assuming yellow flags in Sector 1. Is that Sector 2, actually? Seems to be a slow car in Sector 2.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was about, because everybody's still going at least, so, you know.
Yep, we're heading into Parabolica. I think Noah took Alex into Parabolica there. Huge overspeed. Noah has a whole lot of ERS in the bank here. He is not using too much of it right now as he watches Justin take the lead, and I think Noah is going to go for... No, he doesn't. He's happy to stay behind his teammate McKender, and it's a bit clumsy as Tenari has to take evasive action and cut turn 1 massively, and that might have cost him a bit of time there, but he holds on to P4 somehow.
Yeah, Noah didn't want to attack his teammate. Alex Norris actually attacks Tenari now, and I think takes P4 away from Tenari. So yeah, Noah didn't want to attack his teammate McKender, and then sort of lifted a little bit on the toward the end of the straight, and that caused a bit of a chaos behind him. So yeah, Tenari loses a position because of that.
Some guys pitting in the background as well there. I saw Lars is in the pits, and I think Gerla as well. Just puts those fresh hards on and gets back to it on track. But look at this lead pack. I mean, they're very close together, swapping positions every lap it seems like, and who's going to pull the trigger first? I mean, if you're just on these mediums, you're leading right now, but are you not starting to think like, I want to get back, I want to get on those hards and cover those other pit stops from the likes of Christian and Jamie, etc.?
Yeah, let's see what they decide to do. McKender actually takes the lead, and yeah, Justin drives into the pit lane just at the final moment. Oh, 10 seconds. Didn't he do that also in Zandvoort?
Yeah, I think
so.
He did, yeah.
Another 10-second penalty for him.
Oh, that is horrible. That is horrible. You hate to see it. Yeah, I mean, there's 3 cars went into the pits there, and it is surprising that Romain got that penalty, because it looked like he was about to slam in the back of the Sauber as they entered the pits, so you'd think he would be a bit more cautious on entry with the cars ahead of him, but yeah, he pays the price. 10-second penalty as Justin comes out in P8, and interestingly enough, he has a lot of clean air ahead of him, but Christian is on his... Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, Christian didn't really manage to undercut any of these guys. Maybe just keep with them. And Jamie's undercut was not enough to get back into this train. So yeah, the gap was a bit too much.
Works in the pits as well, so he's decided to switch over to the hards. I think every driver on this grid right now is on hards. We will see some of them switch to mediums. These top guys, the top 7 in fact, will be switching to mediums.
Alex Norris picked up 3 seconds there. That could be crucial at the end of the race.
Oh yes, well spotted, Ice. As Christian takes P8, which is technically going to be the lead of this race. Yeah, it takes P8 from Justin on the second DRS straight.
Yep. Just hanging back, charging that battery, and I think he will lead this back after this corner. And yeah, what's happening in the background?
Eversnack's having an issue there coming out of the second Lesmo. I do feel bad for him. He has dropped TC, and this is a track where it's really dependent on. There's a lot of heavy braking zones. Good exits are needed.
Alex Norris doesn't want to give this to Justin, but Justin has to yield eventually. But he's on the outside here, so let's see who is actually going to lead into the second chicane. I think Alex Norris might be out of battery to be able to do anything about it. But is he actually? Yeah, he seems to be keen on leading this chasing pack. So yeah, Alex Norris actually overtakes Justin. That was a bit unexpected, but yeah, he dove down the inside into turn one. Didn't quite make it done, but then he didn't quite get it done, but then he switched back out of the second corner, and then yeah, he's now in P8.
Yeah, I wonder if Justin's going to go for a move here before Ascari does. He pulls out, and look at that, DRS, massive overspeed, gets the move done, and yeah, he will lead the way into lap 16, and yeah, oh, Noah and McKenna swapping around. They are Alpines, both in the same car, both in the same team, working together, which you love to see, as Meepo as well benefiting a little bit from this, as Tenari as well. These guys are extending the run on these hards, and they will be absolutely rapid on mediums, but how far are they going to be behind the likes of Justin Eriksson, Alex?
Like at this pace, I think they would come out just about in this pack, so 23 seconds, and I think that's about what the pit stop is. So right now, this pack led by Justin isn't really gaining hugely, but could Justin possibly break away from this train here? Because Alex Norris has a bit of a problem with his ERS at the moment, and he's down to 27% at the moment, and yeah, and he's actually dropping out of DRS here. So Justin is really pushing hard here, and he sees his opportunity here. He used some battery there down the short straight between the Lesmo corners, and he's 1.1 seconds ahead now.
Yeah, I mean, Justin, he's just tuned in, as he knows when to use that ERS, and he's using it to great effect, as Christian does get alongside Alex Norris and passes him into Ascari, and he sees Justin getting up the road there, and he wants a part of that. He's tantalizingly close, using a lot of ERS, does get within DRS range, and we're seeing some pit stops from the lead cars, so Tenari, McKender and Meepo all pitting on lap 16.
Yeah, and I think they will come right out into this pack here, and maybe just behind them, as they're blasting 340 kph down the main straight past them, and they will be right here in the middle of this pack. And I think Touche has also managed to, by the way, join this pack somehow, so he is right in the mix as well. A bit older tires for him, but his undercut seems to have worked pretty well. McKender fighting Alex Norris out of turn one, has to use a lot of battery to try to keep ahead of him, and McKender on those mediums, which will have quite a bit more grip at this point. But who breaks the latest into this chicane? Alex Norris doesn't give it up, but McKender forces his way through and is up to P8.
Yeah, that was crucial for McKender. He wasn't backing out. It was a game of DRS chicken. Who's going to use other DRS and who's got the most? It looked like McKender came out tops there, was able to lean on the tires into the second chicane, and Alex Norris fighting it the whole way, even with that time penalty, as we're seeing Meepo and Touche getting by Meepo. Interesting.
And yeah, chat is asking some action down the grid, but there isn't really any action down the grid. If you look at the gaps, there is like 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds. So yeah, I think the battle is here in the for the actual lead of the race.
Yeah, Noah coming out, he was leading, he is now pitted, and yeah, you've got a Desi, Nidal and Finlay, the only guys to pit off these hards. So Noah coming out just behind Christian. He is going to get overtaken by Justin as well, I think, yeah, and Romain actually making his way through.
And Noah actually overcut McKender. I did not see that coming, so the overcut actually seemed pretty good here. So Noah is ahead of all these guys that pitted a lap earlier, McKender, Meepo, Tenari. So Noah It's looking pretty good here, actually.
Yeah, both Alpines actually. I mean, they're together in the pack, which is great. You always like to see a teammate close by. You can help each other out if you can. And yeah, there is something going on back end of the grid. It's Eversnack's getting overtaken by Wirch into turn 1.
Yep. And I'm just checking also the guys who have not yet pitted. So Finlay Smith, Night Owl, the last weekend's podium heroes, are not quite there today. It seems they had a bit of a rough qualifying, I guess, and that's why they're gonna be quite far down the grid when they actually pit. The order, rather, maybe than the grid, but yeah.
Yeah, and they stay out. Probably, yeah, extending the run. I mean, do you have anything to lose? Not really. I mean, you could potentially pick up a safety car, and that would definitely benefit them massively here. But yeah, they're remaining to stay out. We see a move there into turn 1, and it was Justin on Christian, and they come out of turn 1 side by side. And if I can switch camera fast enough, I'll be able to catch it. As Justin does foul ahead, and Lars of the Red Hot Lovers picking up a penalty in P19. So we're seeing a few penalties come through. We saw Danico was the first to get one. 5 drivers remain on the grid with penalties. And yeah, Romain and Alex being the most kind of blaring ones that I can see.
Yeah, 13 seconds on Romain. That's
Okay.
you know, rip. But
yeah, even the safety car's probably not going to help you out there. Yeah, and so as we're speaking about Romain, he gets overtaken by Noah into Ascari, and yeah, Justin technically leading this race. He can see those guys down the road as well, make their way through Parabolica. So, and they do not pit once more. So, are they even thinking about going onto the sauce for the end? As they do switch positions, Finley now leading the charge into turn 1. Not all P2, and we're seeing that Desi does pit, so he is the first to blink out of these top 3.
yeah, days into the pits, and still I think medium tires for him, because the softs are, as I recall, not very good as a race tire around here. But yeah, I guess Finlay Smith and Night Owl are just basically fishing for a safety car, as we have a big battle for the lead of the race once again, side by side by few cars actually here, and I think Christian keeps the lead for now.
Yeah, that looked a bit scary heading into that second chicane there. A lot of cars side by side, but they fall into single order as they make their way through that chicane. And yeah, Christian looking pretty rapid here as he leads the field with the 2 hard runners yet to pit in P1 and P2.
Yeah, I think pretty much the only battle outside of this massive train here is Verge and Eversnacks at the back of the field, and they've basically been trading DRS overtakes on the main straight. The 2 of them, and Meepo also picks up a 3-second penalty. So yeah, there's quite a few guys who already have a penalty now. So yeah, we'll see how the positions actually play out at the end there. But that's it's not great for Meepo, because he's on those mediums, and yeah, I don't think he's gonna be able to put them to good use like this.
Yeah, unfortunate, but yeah, you tend to see this, like especially 20 laps out of 27, your focus starts to go, and you start picking up, especially if you're in this lead pack as well. You're all battling hard to stay in the DRS range, sorry, and yeah, we're seeing a move here from Noah, run to outside of Justin, but he decides to back out of that one, save his DRS for a rainy day, and yeah. I mean, we all know what's coming, don't we? If it keeps playing out like this, is whoever's going to be P2 or even P3 could potentially pick up the win on the last lap.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what Night Owl and Finlay Smith are doing at this point, but I guess it's really only fishing for a safety car, because they're gonna be, I don't know, well outside the points at this stage when they pit. So yeah, we'll see what they can do.
Yeah, so technically we've got a DRS trend from Noah, who's now P3, all the way down to P11, sorry, Touge. So yeah, I mean, all those guys could cross the line first. They're all in that lead pack, but a few of them do have penalties, as Night Owl and Finley once again swapping around. They're
They
praying
still
for that
didn't
safety
hit.
car, yeah. Praying
Yeah, but
hard.
like at this, okay, so maybe the gamble is that everybody will pit and they'll lead the race. I guess that's the only some sort of reasoning for what they're doing at this point, because they're going to be very far behind once they actually do make that pit stop, and we have a yellow flag. But I think that's just was it Eversnax having some sort of a moment in the end of Ascari?
Yeah, not having the best time out there as ever Snacks, but yeah, the top two remain on track on 20 lap old hards. And yeah, I mean, they're going to have to pit this lap or next. I mean,
Yeah, just no point otherwise. Like I sort of already, I think they will be. I'm just checking, maybe somewhere around Gerla. So what is it, 11 and 12 or something, the positions, or 12 and 13, I guess, rather. So yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be too few laps to really get back the points, I think.
yeah, and I had a great shot all the way down the last
Still not
straight.
pitting.
Yeah, they're not pitting. But yeah, you're going to see, you know, how close Justin and that DRS group are behind. They're bunched up tightly. Look at them. They're all going to jostle for position going into turn one, and we're seeing Noah going for the lead. I keep saying the lead. I know it's P3, but it is technically the lead.
Yeah. I mean, those guys will have to pit. They haven't pitted yet at the front, so they're. Oh, and who is off in the background? Was that Meepo?
Yeah, that was
No,
Meepo.
it was Romain. It was Romain who was
Oh.
out in the background in turn one. So he was. I didn't really see what happened there, but he was on the gravel, and he's lost 4 seconds. He was not really in the fight for the positions anyway, because of that 13 seconds of penalties that he's gathered. But yeah, I didn't really see what happened there.
Yeah, that was indeed Romain. And you know who else struggled out of turn one there? He was getting hassled on the exit, and he lost a bit of pace there. Sorry, Justin.
Yeah, just wanted to pick up. Noah has actually broken DRS from McKenders. Was that something to do with whatever happened to Romain? I'm not really sure, but 1.3 seconds. He's got McKender behind him, and McKender can play this game, I'm sure, to maybe hold up these guys a little bit, and maybe let Noah get away on those pressure mediums. Could that be some kind of a team game that they're gonna play here?
Yeah, it leaves McKender very vulnerable to an overtake on this lap, as we do see the top two guys pitting. Finally, they're going in and probably going to put sauce on as Noah sets the fastest lap. He's pushing hard here as we see Justin going for that move, and also Christian. So McKenna down to P4. Is that going to pay off? That if that was indeed some team tactics, as we're seeing Alex Norris and Tanari side by side. Alex Norris picking up that position on the exit, and yeah, it's starting to get very, very hot out there. As we head into, I think it's 4 laps left after this one.
Yeah, and Findlay Smith now coming out in P12 and 13 as I predicted, but they have 9 seconds to the final points paying position, and there's only, 4 laps to go after this one, so I just don't see that working out for them in the end there. But yeah, I guess it was worth, gambling there, because they sort of didn't really have anything to lose at that point, so yeah, well played.
Yeah, and Justin, yeah, he's got his. It's not going to be easy if he wins this one. He's 1.2. He is without DRS, and he's very susceptible to the guys behind. You got Christian, you got McKender, Alex, you've got Tanari and Meepo, as well as Touche hanging about there. And yeah, this is going to be a difficult one. Justin cannot lose too much time here. And yep.
Yeah, I was just about to say that you get this kind of a distant toe in this game, and as you can see, that Justin is closing a little bit the gap on the main straight. Christian is going to overtake him into turn 1, and this is really Noah's only chance, that if these guys start squabbling in the background and losing time because of that, but they didn't really do that, and it's under 1 second now.
Yeah, I did see Noah ghosting out of turn 1 there, out of turn 2, sorry. I don't know if that was hopefully not an issue in the cockpit there for Noah.
Yeah, he's down to none, so I think he's still in the cockpit at least, so hopefully he didn't disconnect or something. But yeah, that's I think he had a good chance there, but it looks like these guys managed to reel him in after all. So yeah, Christian within DRS now, and he will be able to close that gap in this on this back straight.
Yeah, it was a big ask. I mean, he was tantalizingly close to dropping that DRS range, but I suppose with Christian getting that DRS of Justin, it actually worked out nicely for Justin. Justin now in this DRS train in the lead pack, and lap 24 about to go on to lap 25. I see a Haas off. I think that's probably
Ever
yeah,
snacks, yeah.
ever snacks once again.
He's had an issue out of the first corner, but yeah, it's actually a good point in chat that Night Owl and Finlay Smith might still pick up a point or two here because Romain has those 13 seconds and he's, I think, retiring from this race actually. So yeah, they will actually. Well, one of them might pick up a point, I guess. So, yeah. But yeah, one guy I wanted to mention previously was Touge, who was like well out of that DRS train on the first stint, and he's managed to really, like, the only one who really managed to make the undercut work, and he's on very much older hard tires, but he's still there.
Oh, yellow flag.
And
I guess
Mackinder, did Mackinder have some sort of an issue, because he's now over a second away from Justin, and under pressure from Meepo on the outside here, Meepo deploying but doesn't really go for it, and Tunari also is Tunari on the inside of Meepo, and very hard fighting through Ascari. This looked very dangerous. Alex Norris on the outside of Meepo at the exit of Ascari, and side by side toward Parabolica. Let's see what this turns out into, but Mackinder has dropped out of DRS. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, that's crucial. I think that's down to 3 guys now to win this race, unless Mackinder can pull something special out of the bag. Touche does go up to P7, and I think, yeah, we've got someone in the pits. It's Saber Snacks and Eagle actually both in the pits, but yeah, let's remain with this fight. They're jostling for position lap after lap. Alex Norris up to P5 there, and I saw another move up the field.
Yeah, Mackinder needs the middle sector of his life to be able to catch up back to this. He's just about there, but let's see what he can do.
Yeah, and he's low on ERS as well, which is not good news for him. But yeah, tantalizingly close. If he gets really good momentum through these 2 Lesmos, and he does have the medium tires to lean on, so that should bode him well here. Is he able to pull it off? He's not going to get DRS on this straight. But if he gets a good run for Ascari, he might just claw himself back into this somehow.
Yeah, Justin doesn't go for the move into Ascari, and Mackinder just about within that DRS range, but he picks up a penalty for his efforts. No.
Yeah, he had descended through there, but unfortunately, yeah, penalty it is, and we are going on to the last lap ice. Christian leading the charge, but he probably isn't going to be leading the charge when we hit that corner one more time. He is going to come under massive attack here from Justin. I think Noah's quite far back though. Is Noah also going to be able to follow through? And it looks like, oh, Christian, oh, that was a bit of a double block there from him. 2 moves that I saw anyway. Justin holding on to the lead for now, leading the charge, and he's going to be hoping that Christian and Noah fight hard over this P2 position. And it's going to come down to ERS as well, as Christian looking down the inside, and Justin says no thank you. Noah having a look as well. Oh, Noah goes around the outside, and that drops Christian down to P3. Oh my word, that was a bit sketchy.
How did he pull that off?
That's crazy, yeah. That is crazy. Alex Norris P4 currently, Tenari P5, but yeah, Justin leading the wave, and they are going to get DRS on this straight. It is not enough though. Noah is 5/10 behind, and he's getting low on ERS. Oh, is Christian going to go for it? Christian? No, he's too far back.
Noah 2/10 away, but I don't think he will. I don't see him being able to do anything on the final straight here. They're pretty much equal with ERS with Justin, so final quarter will decide the win of this race. Justin is hanging on by the thread of his life here, and let's see. No final corner, but I don't think it will be enough because they're both out of battery. So Justin across the line wins in Monza, Noah second, Christian third, and then Alex Norris I think will lose a couple of positions because of that 3-second penalty he picked up. And yeah, as Tipsy Boy pointed out in chat, I didn't really get to it because of all the action of the final lap, but Meepo had the pit. I think he had some sort of an
Finlay to the line. Sorry, I just caught the last race. They were going to the line, and this is
again
the same thing. Yeah, just over a 10th this time, but Night All takes P9 in the end on those fresh mediums. So those guys were able to get into the points. Gurlitt just missing out, and a Desi P12. Yeah, Meebo drops down to P13. And we've still got Wirch out there who's about to cross the line. I think he's making his way for Parabolica. P14 for him. And yeah, Kit as well. Kit died. He died a death.
Yeah.
Scary then.
Yeah, I crashed in the final lap. I wonder if that was just theatrics or actually happened, but yeah. Eversnack's doing some donuts without a front wing. Yeah. Justin wins. Nothing new under the sun regarding that, but he had to work for it today.
That was
and
tough,
Noah
yeah.
gave him a good challenge. But yeah, I'm not really sure what happened on the couple of laps from the end when McKender dropped out of that DRS there. I don't know. Was that something to do with where Meepo also lost it? But yeah, could be the famous Finnish teamwork again.
Yeah, and it looks like the spectators also enjoyed that as well. Sweet saying what a race. I saw Tipsy say that was a great race. Jamie, who was in the race, said that was a classic. So interested to speak to some of the drivers after the race to see how it was from their POV. But yeah, that for me it looked like a stressful race, running so tightly together, and yeah, it all came down to the last lap. We kind of expected that. Justin put himself in the best position and was able to guard that P1 to the line on the final lap.
Yeah, I know we don't pick up the driver of the day anymore here, but at least for me, I would have to say it's like Touche from P17 on the grid, and he was the only one who really made the undercut work because he was out of that DRS train at the start, and then yeah, after the pit stops managed to keep up with the guys with much older tires and finishes P5. Like Justin, great race. Won the race, but you sort of expect it at this point, and I at least I prefer to give it to somebody who's surprised or outdone themselves in this race. So yeah, at least that would be my vote. But I guess we don't do it anymore. We'll let the drivers decide. We'll give a few options and we'll see what they choose.
Yeah, I think that's a good call too. Also Noah getting an honourable mention, and I think Nidal possibly as well. I mean, they weren't on the best ride. No safety car for them today to save them, but does pick up P9 with a solid finish there.
Yeah, another honourable mention. I think Alex Norris' first race in SLR, challenging even for the win of the race. Maybe dropped down at the end a little bit, and he had a 3-second penalty, which cost him couple of positions at the end, but yeah, worthy of a mention, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's his debut performance, like you say. Get this man a seat in Tier 1. there is a few drivers in Tier 1 or maybe they're not, they're feeling a bit demoralized by all these aliens. So I think the answer is put more aliens in and move those guys down and just have a pure alien grid like the old days. It's shaping up nicely though. I mean, we have a lot of, I would say, alien-esque drivers in Tier 1, but the more the merrier. But yeah, let's get to the interviews, see if anyone's...
And I agree with you, Tipsy, regarding that. Justin definitely worth driver of the day mention. I just sort of, it's like a little bit double dipping. If you win, you're the triple champion. You're sort of expected to win every race. Do you really have to be the driver of the day on top of that? But I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, or I'm thinking it the wrong way or something. But yeah, I agree with you. Definitely one of the picks there. Great performance out of him as always. He's the Max Verstappen of this league, to be honest.
And he's also saying other things like, if you get Tier 1 back to no assists, I suspect an ex-Tier 1 champ might come back. I think I know who you're talking about there. I would like to see that. There was a very...
Who would that be?
It was a very speedy ex-Tier 1 champ.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
I think that's who he's talking about. I would love to see it. I mean,
Mr. Pad.
He did try to come back, but He must be in VC with him because he said he heard it from his mouth. But anyway, I would love to see that. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we did have one season where we started off with like seven ex champs in Tier One, all racing on the grid. But due to bugs with the game, most of them left within a few rounds. They couldn't be bothered with the game anymore. So maybe someday when we get a solid game. Looking for interviews though. Let's see. We do have. Yeah, we've quite a few actually waiting to be interviewed. Will we start from the top
Keep it a
then?
bit shorter than last week, I think, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll bring in the man of the moment. The race winner is just an
Cool.
nerd. We're just saying there, you kind of don't get mentioned for driver of the day because we just expect this of you now. You just win so much. But as Tipsy points out, that was a driver of the day performance from you. But um, I mean, how was it from your point of view? That like quite tense.
It was. The strategy call, I think, was the best call to make. Tires getting better as their mediums are getting worse, but around here, there's so little corners to take that advantage isn't too big. But yeah, no, it all came down to the final lap, trying to work with Christian and force him to overtaking for the final lap, and that's kind of what set my win, really.
Yeah, and I mean, it definitely wasn't easy out there today. You had a lot of fast drivers around you. It's a lot of swapping for position. I'm sure there's some hairy moments going into those chicanes, but one driver I wanted to ask you about, I mean, it was his debut performance in Tier 1 SLR, Alex Norris. What did you make of that? I saw the start as well. He got a pretty good start.
He's quick. He definitely has the pace, but he needs to. I think his race IQ needs to go a bit higher. Just purely because some moves that he was doing were a bit unnecessary when he could have just stayed behind, or instead of going for a dive bomb into turn one or whatever. But yeah, no, I mean, I liked fighting him. He was clean, but I think he's just lost a lot of unnecessary time when we were trying to undercut the hard runners.
Yeah, and we saw him pick up a penalty as well. Obviously, it took him out of contention for the race win, but solid finish from him. Like, did you have any warnings in that race, or were you
No,
okay? There you go.
it
Of
was
course
clean.
not. Stupid question. Yeah, I mean that was a great race. It's actually one of those ones where I'd like to just go back and watch it and in a relaxed kind of setting, and not be like so trying to watch all the gaps and stuff. But yeah, still a performance from you. I mean Monza, we kind of expected that last lap. You're setting it up. You want to be the guy behind the leader heading into that last lap, so you can snap him up. And yeah, it was textbook basically from you.
Thank you. Well, I
Um,
learned it from Silverstone, so
oh yes, the Meepo. I remember that one. Meepo, yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, we were hoping to maybe could contend for the title this season, but didn't have the best of time out there today. Is there anyone else you're looking at and thinking maybe this guy could give me some concern?
probably Noah and Mikander, to be honest, and Christian as well. But I think Christian, he just gets so unlucky all the time that it's hard for him. But they're all very quick. So look at today. If I'm not careful, they can overtake me.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you'll enjoy watching that one back. That was another classic race and a classic track. Justin, we will no doubt see you next week and probably speak to you next week, I imagine. But until then, take it easy, mate.
You too. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks. We'll bring in Christian then. So, Christian, solid performance in qualifying. Kind of what we come to expect from you. But in the race, what happened there? I mean, obviously you did finish well in the end, but I'm sure you were after that win more than anything else.
Yeah. Uh, well, my qualifying was very good. I started P6.
Oh, in my head you're P1, so I don't know.
Oh no, that
Forget
was
about me.
Alex Norris. Yeah. No, I started P6, so I was already pretty pissed off from that. But it was I got a somewhat alright start, and I was on the mediums and the top. I think it was three, maybe four guys in the top six that was on the hards, so I got past them pretty quick. And yeah, I it was such a crazy race. I mean, like we were fighting every lap, and then we weren't fighting, and moves and no ERS, and then 100% ERS, and it was argy-bargy in turn 1 and turn every corner. Jesus Christ.
It sounds like you need a drink, man. Yeah.
Yeah, jeez. Yeah, goddamn.
Yeah, it looked very tense out there. Yeah, and then you had there were several critical moments of the race where maybe the front pack were trying to gap the rest of you guys, and but weren't able to get too far up the road. I mean, no, we did have those three guys break away at the end. Um, but yeah, that was interesting to watch for sure, and I'm sure you're looking forward to a nice wee break until the next race.
Yeah, definitely.
you sound you sound like you need to lie down and just think about it,
Just need
contemplate
to,
your life.
yeah, gee, need to cry a bit, I think. I've kept saying since season 16, damn it, I've been so unlucky, but the amount of times I've been unlucky in my head, you gotta think that it's a me problem at some point.
No, I mean even Justin called it. He said, yeah, you were kind of unlucky today not to take the win, but it's coming. I think it's coming. It's definitely coming, Christian, this season. A few wins will be under your belt by
Yeah.
the time this season plays out. But we're round 4, so there's 6 to go. Japan's next week. What do you reckon?
Oh my God. I might as well I'm just gonna sleep. I hate Japan. Well, I'm gonna race, but I hate Japan. I always had. It's so sketchy to drive, and yeah.
Interesting. I love that track so hard. So I guess just lap it until you love it. Basically, I think that's my advice.
Yeah, practice
um,
makes perfect, right?
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Don't be
Um,
taking too much of a break. Have a light on and then
uh,
get back to it, bro. But yeah. Thanks for joining us in the interview booth.
yeah,
We will
thanks for having me.
we'll speak to you again soon and enjoy your rest.
Thank you.
Okay, there you go. Let's get through these quickly though. We've got Meepo here. We'll bring him in to find out what happened in his
Oh,
race. Yeah, Meepo, you're here. You were under a different name in that race. Do you want to explain what that was about?
uh, I don't think there's nothing to explain really. There's nothing to explain.
Great, great. Yeah, I mean, you picked up that penalty. We saw that in the race. You were doing fairly well. You were on the mediums at the end as well in the lead pack. But how was it for you? I mean, was it just a matter of once you lost track of that DRS train up ahead that you're completely out of the running then?
Uh, I don't know. That's the question. But like, I had a hard time since I didn't do any medium practice. I didn't try those, so it's as soon as I got those on, it was very creepy. So I got like within 2 laps or 1 lap, I got like 2 warnings or 3 warnings, something like that. I was like, this is gonna be awful because I got so many warnings. And then I had some kind of head loss because I was really frustrated with myself. Then well, then I dropped out of the pace really. Mhm.
Good stuff. Yeah, I mean, like, tough race. Monza can be kind of chaotic race. But yeah, you were in contention. You definitely were in that lead pack for most of the race, but yeah, that time penalty and a lot of jostling for position heading into those chicanes that I saw look very tense moments out there. But we've got Suzuka next week. Are you looking forward to that track?
Nope.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us,
I
Mibo. Sorry.
no, I'm not. I don't. Not a fan of Suzuka.
What is wrong
No.
with you people? What is wrong?
Yeah, I wonder the same.
I mean, I'm not a fan because league racing made me do it. You know, like when you
Oh,
in
is that
league
because of
racing
the LLR thing
perspective.
where you got like a 5 race ban for messing around or whatever? But
No, it is not that. I just don't like driving
oh,
it. It's just as much as the SS are fun to drive, it's very slippery, and that's what I hate. And that's about it really. And the last weekend, it's horrendous. Like either you make it or you break it in that. And that's what those are kind of tracks that I hate because there's one section where you gain all the time, and if you gain all the time there, you're basically on pole or not. And that's what I hate about Suzuka. Yeah,
Okay, there you go. Another
good racing.
Suzuka hitter.
racing is gonna be awful there because we
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking
my
about,
bad.
but anyway, bye.
Okay.
We'll speak to you next week after Suzuka. Hopefully, you'll change your mind about such a great track, and
Okay.
you'll win it as well. That'll be a good one. You'll like it then if you win it, wouldn't you?
Maybe.
Maybe we'll find out.
Oh
Yeah,
well, obviously you like stuff when you win them.
best track ever. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
Sanford.
yeah.
Sanford's so good.
Uh-huh.
Right.
What
Anyway,
a discussion, man.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
We're jibber jabbering. I just threw him out there. Sorry, maybe. Bye. Uh, well, let's see. We've got two more to go. I think Eversnacks, we're gonna bring him in. Eversnacks, not your race today. I know you're struggling a wee bit with dropping TC, and this is definitely a difficult track when it comes to traction control. How was it out there for you today? Were you just not loving life at all?
Honestly, I'm really annoyed because I think I had the pace. If I had been able to keep in the DRS train, I think I would have been able to stay on the back of those guys. I think the pace was there. It's just I have to push so much to even be anywhere close to these guys in tier one. It's just invites me to make mistakes. And yeah, that's what happened. It's what happened in qualifying as well. Just pushed that tiny bit too much, and suddenly you're in the wall.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough in tier one, but yeah, I mean we have seen glimmers of pace from you in tier one. Um, I mean, what are your thoughts going forward? Are you just going to give it your best this season and then see what happens, or are you are you now trying to get back to your home tier of tier two?
Well, I don't think that's happening. So I don't know, man. Um, I'm just hoping for one race where I don't get my wing taken off at the start for now. I mean, it's always been my issue with driving around in the midfield. You just get taken out by somebody and then your race is over. Yeah, just I think if I get a race where I'm less unlucky, then I have a chance of staying at least somewhere close to those guys and actually fighting someone. But if the race starts out like this, then it's just over. And yeah, the tire temperatures were a huge issue in Monza as well. I'm going to be trying my best going forward, but I don't think my best is enough, to be honest.
I mean, I think if you dig out that kind of qualifying pace as you had in Hungary, for example, you'll be there. But yeah, I guess it also needs that. But yeah,
Yeah,
try
I
and
also need
stick with
dry
it.
qualifying.
I'm sure you have it in you. But it's I also in the same breath I know the pace of some of these guys is pretty brutal. So yeah,
it's a
it's
rude
not easy.
awakening. Yeah, it's so mad, isn't it? You go from tier one and it's like the top guy, you put him in tier one, and then you see, you know, it's like reality dawns on them. There's levels to even in tier one, like at the very top, there's levels. You got like Justin just seems to be dominating tier one at the minute. But yeah, I'd say just give it your all this season and try to keep your head held up high. I know it's tough out there, but we've all been there. I don't know what else to say actually.
Yeah, I think just once I can actually stick to the back of somebody, I'll be having fun again. But just driving around by myself at the back, that's just not fun.
Yeah, I mean we did see some battling from you, and I think it was Eagle Ghost at a certain point in the race.
Yeah, we were in VC. I don't think it was too much battling really.
Yeah, just someone to keep you company at the back. But yeah, Versax, looking forward to next week. We'll go to Suzuka. I have seen you perform very well there, obviously in different conditions, circumstances. But I'm sure you've got a glimmer of hope there for that track.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a struggle without the TC, of course, but I know I've got the pace there at least. So if I can stop spinning in the races, then perhaps it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I tell you what, here's a real good confidence boost. If you practice with me, I will give you a lot of confidence because you'll be like, I'm faster than
So
this
I can
guy."
so I can get crushed even more in the race then, huh?
Hey, now. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Anyway, we will speak later.
Yeah, nice talking to you guys.
Yes,
See ya.
thanks, Eversnacks. And last but not least, I see Fedivara in there as well, but he wasn't able to. He was after a seat, but he didn't get a seat. So, Lars of the Red Hot Lovers, joins us. Not your finest performance out there. I mean, looked like you had several issues at the back, and I think Eversnacks was touching on it. Like if you are at the back, then you've got all the any incidents ahead. Like you tend to have to make your way through it. Was that the case with you today then?
Basically, yeah, people at the front were braking early. We, of course, all concertina up behind. I literally chipped my front wing, like, as in, it's green normally, and then it was a very slightly different shade of green. And the car started understeering like an absolute elephant, so was stuck at the back for that. Pitted a wee bit earlier, not as early as the other guys. The tires then proceeded to die. Others pitted and I didn't. I was okay, just about to make it to the end. But, you know, even just trying to catch up to Snacks and all, he was getting DRS off of Verge and vice versa. As soon as you lose DRS, you're buggered. So, what can you say? Same day, different. Sorry, same story, different day. I mean, better overall result at the end, I guess. P15. It's something, I suppose.
Yeah.
But you know, these guys are just, and this again, it's not a complaint. It's more just a point that, you know, these guys are just so quick that as soon as you make even one error, you know, that's you done. That's you done.
Yeah.
To be quite honest. So, but I wasn't the only one making errors today. Obviously, the low downforce affecting a lot of drivers. My setup was not particularly brilliant. I had the straight line speed, but I just couldn't get the balance of the car right. The rear was going out on me at every possible opportunity. And I know it was because it was different tires and all, but there was nothing more depressing than, I think it was Tug on fresh hards going past me and then pulling out a full second just through Ascari alone.
Wow.
You're just watching them fly through there going like, what the hell have you done to that car that lets you do that? So, you know, and I know it was obviously fresh rubber and all. That was part of it, but obviously, I mean, he was just so smooth going through Ascari, and you're just sitting there thinking like, if I tried that on those curbs with the way my car's set up, I would be greeting the barrier with my face. So, you know, we cracked on. We did what we had to do. Didn't get lapped this week. Finished P15, so it is what it is. We'll keep on cracking on. Might as well. We're over the halfway point of the season, I think, are we? Or
round 4, so the next race will be round 5. I'll be the halfway point after that one. It's Suzuka next week. What do you reckon?
Suzuka? Well, Suzuka could be an interesting one. At least it's a track I enjoy, much like Monza, so I've got that going for me at least. And DRS is not quite as prevalent a thing in there because it's really only up to 130R. Yes, you can do it down to turn 1, but people run much higher wings there, so it's not as powerful. So we'll see what happens. Maybe miracles happen. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, plenty of drivers out there today were hoping for a late safety car, but it just never came, and that's.
We never get safety cars. You know this. I know someone said no safety car for once. I'm like, what do you mean for once? When was the last time we had a safety car? I know we've had VSCs before, but when was the last time we had a full safety car? I think we had one in the Netherlands towards the end, and that was, I can't remember the last time before that, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't either.
Like, we don't get safety cars in this year, which is great. It shows you how clean the driving is.
You know how to make a safety car happen is like plan your whole race around no safety cars, and there'll be loads.
Hold on, sorry. 2 seconds, sorry, lad.
But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap up anyway, aren't we? Because we're running overtime as per usual.
Yep.
But there you go. Lars will be back next week anyway, so we'll get to speak to him then. Yeah. So tomorrow we got tier 2, and then I just threw Lars into the GeoGuessr channel.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got tier 2 tomorrow, featuring myself, and tier 3 as well. Both at Monza, and then next week, as mentioned, we will be heading into round 5, and after that, that's the halfway point of the season. We'll be able to do an assessment on both the titles, get a clearer picture on who the contenders are. But right now in tier 1, it's Justin all the way, and looks like he's on for his third title in a row. It seems.
Yeah, as I said, he's like the Max Verstappen of this league and this tier at this stage, and this game. I don't really. I don't know. They're gonna have to pull some different kind of tricks out of their bags to be able to challenge him toward the end of the season. But we'll see. There's still the second half of it left fully, and yeah, after next week we're halfway done, right? So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not over until it's over, but I mean, if you're a
Yeah, it
betting
just seems
man,
to have a counter for anything that the other guys
Yeah.
do. So
Yeah.
it's just they will need. I honestly think somebody needs to do something like Meepo tried in the first couple of rounds. It burned him a bit, maybe, but maybe that's what they need to do to be able to beat him. Because clearly, you know, the traditional way of approaching this is maybe not as easy, at least.
yeah. Hopefully, Meepo heads into the mountains, does some hardcore training,
Yep.
and we see a training montage from him with some cheesy music in the background. Anyway, yeah, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching, and yeah, we really appreciate all the support. And tune in tomorrow, Tier 2, Tier 3 Friday. And yeah, very much looking forward to the rest of the season. Tier 1 always delivers, don't forget it. And we will see you guys soon enough. Thanks, Ice, once again for comms. And we'll speak
Thanks.
again soon. Bye.